all eyes in the political world are on Iowa. The caucuses are coming up fast. While some candidates are running as political outsiders, others are vying for the GOP establishment's backing and turning on each other in the process. But are these inter-party attacks hurting the party? Here for a fair and balanced political debate, Fox News contributor Angela Mcglowan and Washington director for MoveOn.org, Ben Wickler. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, Angela, I want to start with you, and I'm curious to see Ben's reaction to this. You know, we're starting to see jabs among Republicans. When is it time for the Republicans to shift any attacks they have for each other to the possible Democratic nominee?
Now, any Republican strategist out there that's advising any political candidate, it does not do the party well for us to attack one another. Remember Newt Gingrich, I think it was vulture capitalist or vulture capitalism he said about Mitt Romney? Well, Obama used that in a commercial. The bottom line is this, Elizabeth, right now we need to go against the liberals because our policies will create a better America and a more prosperous America. And you remember Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican. So I'm very disappointed in the Republican Party right now.
All right, Ben, what's your reaction? I'm curious to see if you actually agree with Angela in this case.
As a matter of political strategy, I would say absolutely. What we're seeing right now in the fight for the establishment title in the GOP primary is a race for first loser. This is frankly a group of candidates who have not gotten any traction, who are competing to be, right behind the leading insurgent candidates. So that's just not going to work no matter how much they attack each other. I think the lack of discipline in terms of party messaging is characteristic of the lack of discipline in this Republican primary overall. And as a Democrat, it doesn't bother me too much, but as a Republican, I would be fuming.
Okay, Angela, but lack of discipline, but it also gives voters a lot of qualified candidates, the critics of that argument would say. Do you agree?
Well, here's what, when someone attacks you, you can see your future commander-in-chief, how well they are under pressure. That's the only thing that's great about attacking another candidate. Also, I mean, for people to answer to Trump, Trump is a big bully, but he's setting the agenda for the other candidates. He's in control. When you run for office, once you answer your opponent wins. So diversity in voices, yes, in attacking, but it should be diversity in voices dealing with policy, not personal attacks.
Okay, and I want to play a soundbite to sort of play off what you're saying here, and it was Jeb Bush on NPR. I want you to take a listen to it, and then I'll get reaction from initially you, Ben. Take a listen.
I would argue that Donald Trump is, in fact, a creature of Barack Obama. But for Barack Obama, Donald Trump's effect would not be nearly as strong as it is. We're living in a divided country right now, and we need political leaders, rather than continuing to divide us, as both President Obama and Donald Trump do, to unite us.
What's your reaction to that, Ben?
Well, I think Jeb Bush has had trouble uniting his own family, let alone the entire Republican Party or the nation. So it's a funny argument coming from him. I think that he's right that Donald Trump is absolutely a divisive candidate, and that's his problem going into the general. No one has yet to make up their mind about Donald Trump. So he might win the Republican primary handily, but I don't see him pulling over any Democrats who are on the fence right now. I think that's the existential problem that the Republican Party faces in this election.
Okay, so Ben, who is the Clinton camp concerned about, assuming that she's a Democratic nominee right now on the Republican side?
You know, I think this is a pretty good position for the Clinton camp. I think they're not seeing anyone like a George W. Bush in 2000 who's able to pull in both the activist base of the Republican Party and appeal to the general public. There's no one on the Republican side who has that kind of dual appeal. So I think they're looking pretty happily at the Republican campaign, and they're just glad there are so many debates lined up.
Angela, what do you think?
Well, look, I think that Jeb Bush was right. I think the Obama policies have caused a lot of angst in this country, and Donald Trump, he has those great one-liners. But again, what do those one-liners do? Does that create a better America? No, we need to hear about policy. But as for Hillary, I think any of the Republican candidates can defeat Hillary, because she has so much in her closet that's going to come out that I think that anyone could win. But the ones to watch, from my standpoint, Rubio, Kasich, those guys, watch them. I believe that they're going to come out from behind, and you never know.
Okay, I need two short answers from both of you. How is the landscape going to change in the next 30 days?
I think a lot of people are going to freak out when they see the polls that have been happening all year suddenly confirmed by actual votes.
Angela? It's a strong
I think
statement.
Iowa, if you're a second-tier candidate, I think that Iowa could actually give you a boost. So maybe we might see some of the poll numbers change. I agree with Ben.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have you guys back to reevaluate when the time comes. Thank you so much, Angela Mcglowan and Ben Wickler. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much.